Right now at noon, multiple law enforcement agencies use a drone and canine to track down the driver who ran from a traffic stop. And we hear testimony from an aide to Vice President Pence and a National Security Council officer, what they're saying about the phone call at the center of the impeachment inquiry.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now on this Tuesday afternoon. A gloomy day, but at least warmer temperatures on the way. Let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield has a look at your first alert forecast.
Yeah, hey, Mark. We'll be near 50 degrees as we get closer to the middle of this week. For now, though, still stuck in the mid-30s, but at least we're above freezing. We do have a few flurries trying to form across south central Wisconsin, at least showing up on radar in portions of Dane County. But as we look outside Madison, the gloom is still with us. A little bit foggy, definitely cloudy on the WISC-TV Skycam. Temperatures right now are in the mid to upper 30s, even a few 40s showing up closer to the lake in Kenosha. And your day planner, I think highs will be right around 40 degrees, but just short in the upper 30s. And the clouds going nowhere really anytime soon. As we head into the next couple of days, we are staying cloudy, but we'll talk about those milder temperatures on the way and a round of rain on the way for Wednesday and Thursday in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Something for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Dave, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you. New dash cam video of a driver fleeing from a traffic stop overnight on Rimrock Road and John Nolan Drive. The man was pulled over for equipment and registration violations. After the driver pulled over, he ran, leaving his car abandoned and rolling backwards across John Nolan Drive. Officers from Madison, the town of Madison, Monona, along with Dane County Sheriff's deputies, assisted Fitchburg to chase the suspect on foot. A drone and a canine helped locate him in a swampy area. He was unable to get himself out of the waist-deep water and mud on his own, and law enforcement used a rope to get him out. The driver, 28-year-old Uriah Smith of Fitchburg, faces a tentative charge of resisting arrest and obstructing an officer. He told police he ran after panicking for not having a driver's license. New at noon, Green Bay police are looking for a man they say abducted his ex-girlfriend at gunpoint. Officials say 38-year-old Luis Cardona took Babette Caraballo before 5 a.m. this morning from her workplace. The two left the business in a black SUV. Authorities have not released a possible license plate number. Anyone who sees the couple asked not to approach them and to call 911. For the first time, we're hearing from witnesses who were on the July 25th call between President Trump and the president of Ukraine. That's at the center of the House impeachment inquiry. Skylar Henry is on Capitol Hill, where a total of 4 witnesses will testify today.
Jennifer Williams, a State Department aide to Vice President Pence, described the July 25th call where President Trump pushed Ukraine's President Zelensky to look into former Vice President Joe Biden and his son.
I found the July 25th phone call unusual because, in contrast to other presidential calls I had observed, it involved discussion of what appeared to be a domestic political matter.
Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, a National Security Council official also on the call, expressed why he was concerned about the conversation.
It is improper for the President of the United States to demand a foreign government investigate a U.S. citizen and a political opponent.
Democrats are trying to make the case that withholding military aid to Ukraine in exchange for investigations into the Bidens is an impeachable offense.
President Trump put his own personal and political interests above those of the nation.
Republicans called the proceedings a charade and tried to redirect the focus onto the Bidens.
Why did Burisma hire Hunter Biden? What did he do for them? And did his position affect any U.S. government actions under the Obama administration?
Democrats asked the witnesses if there was any merit to those allegations.
Are you familiar with any credible evidence to support this theory against Vice President Biden?
No, I'm not.
The hearing got a little contentious when Vindman would not name the member of the intelligence community with whom he discussed the phone call.
You testified in the deposition that you did not know who the whistleblower was or is.
I do not know who the whistleblower is. That is.
So how is it possible for you to name these people and then out the whistleblower?
What I can offer is that these were properly cleared individuals, or was a properly cleared individual with a need to know.
Also testifying today, former Special Envoy to Ukraine Kurt Volker and former NSC official Tim Morrison. In all, 9 current and former U.S. officials are testifying this week. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And just hours before today's hearings, we learned more about State Department official David Holmes' closed-door testimony on Friday. Holmes says he heard President Trump ask EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland about an investigation into a cell phone call a day after the July 25th call. He said Ukrainians came to understand that they were being asked to do something in exchange for the meeting between President Trump and President Zelensky, and the security hold was being lifted. Today, 2 of the prison guards on duty the night Jeffrey Epstein died in prison will make a federal court appearance. Both guards turned themselves in and will reportedly face charges for falsifying records. They're accused of not checking on Epstein every 30 minutes. Epstein pled not guilty to operating a sex trafficking ring and took his own life in a detention facility. New York's Attorney General has launched a lawsuit claiming Juul Labs illegally marketed flavored e-cigarettes to teenagers. The lawsuit claims Juul launched a coordinated marketing campaign targeting kids between 13 and 17 years old and downplaying the health risks of the high nicotine products. New York seeks a ban on those marketing tactics, as well as fines and legal damages. A new commercial airing in South Dakota aims to promote an anti-meth campaign, but it's getting flack on social media.
I'm on meth.
So am I.
Meth is not someone else's problem. It's everyone in South Dakota's problem, and we need everyone to get on it.
I'm on meth.
Governor Kristi Noem wants to bring awareness to the meth epidemic in South Dakota, saying it's everyone's problem and we need to get on it. But the ad is causing some confusion, with some people confused, others mocking the campaign. The governor said she wanted this to be a bold campaign to get people to be part of the solution. With the ad going viral on the first day, she says it's working. New video now of a close call in Illinois. 2 state troopers and a stranded woman nearly got hit after a truck lost control and slid across an icy interstate last week. The troopers were changing a tire for the woman when the truck jackknifed. They were able to pull the woman to safety, and there were no injuries. They're calling this a miracle on ice. The driver was ticketed for failing to slow down to avoid a crash. The Milwaukee Brewers are debuting their new logo with a retro twist. It's to celebrate the club's 50th anniversary. The jerseys feature the old ball and glove design with modern coloring. The team also unveiled 4 new jerseys designed as the NLB transitions from Majestic clothing to Nike. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. I'm next. We'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
How do you make both Spud lovers and carb watchers happy? We've got just the thing. Join me today for a healthier take on a Thanksgiving Day favorite. With Thanksgiving right around the corner, it's time to make sure we have all of our side dishes lined up for the big feast. Around my house, nothing is more popular than the mashed potatoes. But with more and more people eating fewer carbs, I said to myself, how do I please both the spud lover and my, oh, I've got to cut back on carbs guests? Thankfully, we found a way that makes everyone happy. Here's how we do it. We start by boiling up some golden potatoes that we cut into chunks. After they've cooked for a few minutes, we add a head of cauliflower that we've cut into florets. When everything is tender, we drain them really well. I know you're thinking, this combo seems odd, but trust me. Now we add some butter, milk, and a bunch of spices to our potatoes and beat everything together until they're as smooth or as chunky as you like. Serve them up with some butter or drizzle on a homemade gravy. You see, by combining potatoes with cauliflower, you cut back on half the carbs without sacrificing any of the goodness. They'll have no idea. To get the recipe for what we call our full of mashed potatoes, all you have to do is go online. I'm Howard with Kelly, who loves her mashed potatoes, in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found the perfect compromising way for you and everyone to say, ooh, it's so good. Good?
Very.
Fool ya?
We have breaking news from the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Local news stations in Green Bay are reporting Green Bay police shot and killed a Green Bay man who abducted his ex-girlfriend at gunpoint this morning. Sheriff's officials say Luis Cardona shot Babette Caraballo. That's when they opened fire and killed him. Caraballo was alive when emergency crews transported her to the hospital. Her condition is unknown at this time. Look for updates on channel3000.com. Next at noon, cloudy and gloomy today, but we could see high temperatures in the upper 40s later this week. Dave has more in your first alert forecast. A boost for Boeing and a feel-good gig for somebody who can't get enough holiday movies. Laura Podesta has your MoneyWatch report.
A miss for Home Depot this morning. The home improvement retailer reported quarterly earnings per share that met investor expectations, but store sales and company revenue fell short, causing shares to tumble before market open. The company also cut its sales forecast for the year. A boost for Boeing this week. The plane maker landed another round of orders from airlines Tuesday at the Dubai Air Show, which could be worth up to $6 billion. Yesterday, Boeing inked a deal with Turkey's Sun Express to deliver 10 additional 737 MAX jets. That purchase was the first firm order for the troubled jet maker in months. Thousands of Disney Plus accounts have reportedly been stolen. According to multiple reports, the stolen accounts have been put up for sale on the dark web for as little as $3. In a statement, Disney Plus says it takes privacy and security seriously. And tech company CenturyLink is hiring one Christmas movie connoisseur to binge on 24 Hallmark holiday films in 12 days and give feedback. The pay is $1,000. Candidates can apply on CenturyLink's website. The requirements, they include a love for Christmas and a social media account to document all those heartwarming holiday moments. The hired candidate must complete the job by Christmas. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Laura Podesta.
Thank you, Laura. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials unchanged at this time. The NASDAQ down 97. The S&P 500 also unchanged. Those probably aren't the right numbers, I would guess. Let's check in now with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee, who has all the right numbers.
Well, we hope so anyhow. We hope so. Our numbers, I'll tell you what, have improved a little bit, Mark, in a week's time. I mentioned yesterday, I thought a lot of farmers got some work done with the break in the weather. Yesterday, the Wisconsin Ag Statistical Service kind of verified what many of us had seen. Across the state of Wisconsin now, we've got about 44% of our corn crop that's harvested. Now, remember, it's the 19th of November, so we're still about 3 weeks behind, but it's an improvement in a week's time. One area that still is a big concern for farmers is how wet that corn is. The average moisture test coming in at about 24%. Let me help you understand. If a farmer is going to try to store that grain through the winter, they have to dry it down to about 14.5% moisture. So from 24% down to 14.5%, I think they said it takes about 100 gallons of propane to dry down 1,000 bushel of corn. So we're looking at a lot of money that farmers are going to have to pay to dry this corn down. And if you've been hearing about it in the countryside, propane shortages, not necessarily about supplies, but just getting it in the right place at the right time, have become a real challenge for some of our vendors. 77% of our soybeans have been harvested. That number didn't change because farmers are primarily focusing just on harvesting the corn, and only 36% of the fall tillage happened as of Sunday. That's 3 weeks behind. That could compound matters next spring when it comes to spring field work, and I'm really concerned about what's going to happen with our manure waste management plans. A lot of that corn has to be harvested, and then we bring the manure out as a nutrient to help us for next spring, and boy, everything's just getting bunched up. On the dairy side of things today, barrel cheese down another half a cent at $2.15. 40-pound block cheese down 3 again today at $1.83 3/4. AA butter down a penny at $2.06 1/2. But the good news is at least we did get something done over the weekend. Little concerned about that moisture that I hear is in our forecast, Mark, because the ground is not that froze. It could turn into a mud pie real quick for any of those guys that are still trying to wrap stuff up.
The hits keep coming, don't they?
I tell you.
All right, Ben, thank you. Let's check in on the moisture content coming. Here's Dave.
Yeah, Mark, even when we get temperatures above average, which we will over the next couple of days, it comes with strings attached, with a catch, if you will. And we've been catching a lot of clouds lately, and this afternoon, no exception, with Visible Cloud Track very busy tracking those gloomy and cloudy skies. Also, a few snowflakes trying to reach the ground, but again, temperatures at the ground are above freezing, so this shouldn't make much of an impact. Maybe a few flurries over the next hour or two in Dane County, but we are seeing a couple, actually, on our Edgewater Skycam over the last couple of minutes in Madison. Tough to see with that gray sky, but if you kind of focus in on this part of the building there, you can see those light snowflakes. But again, not really looking at major impacts there. We did see some patchy fog this morning. We could see a little bit more of that tonight. Right now, visibility at 6 miles in Madison, 4 in Janesville, and close to 1, though, in Viroqua. In the Mississippi River Valley, that fog is a little bit more dense at the noon hour. Temperatures are in the mid 30s right now, 35 in Madison and in Monroe, 37 in Janesville. I think those highs will make it closer to 40 degrees by the time we get to later this afternoon, even with no sunshine. So could this be the day we finally break the streak of below normal temperatures in Madison? It'll be close by the end of the day. If we can get to 39 or even 40 degrees with our low temperature of 32 this morning, we will turn a box orange, finally, for the first time in 22 days. So if we don't hit it today, I think we will tomorrow with those temperatures in the lower to middle 40s for highs. On Future Track, we noticed that not much going on for the rest of this afternoon precipitation-wise. So after that area of flurries and maybe a snow shower or two is done over the next hour, I think we should be dry with highs in the upper 30s, close to 40 degrees. But look, folks, the clouds are really not moving as we get into tomorrow. Starting off right around the freezing mark once again, maybe a brief period of clearing skies. I don't know if I buy this all that much. And if we do get that clearing, note the time here, this is tomorrow afternoon with highs in the mid 40s. It goes away very quickly because then our next system on the way in the form of rain this time, as temperatures are close to 50 degrees for the first part of Thursday. So we don't need to worry about any more snow accumulating, but with that ground being iffy in some spots, we could get pretty muddy with about a half an inch to even close to an inch of rain not out of the question by the time we get to Thursday afternoon. So that will impact our weather for the next couple of days, or at least our conditions for the next couple of days before the sun does return for the weekend. Temperatures much colder on Friday in the mid 30s. And we're in the 40s for Saturday and Sunday. And we could be talking about some rain and snow just in time for all that traveling that we need to do for Thanksgiving as we get into next week. So we'll keep an eye on that. Always, as always, lots to check on and keep track of in the weather department.
The weekend looks great.
Yeah, that will be really nice. I mean, a little bit chillier, but that sunshine makes a big difference this time of year.
All right, Dave, thank you. Next to noon, Brown County residents are coming up with their own name suggestions for a baby delivered at Quick Trip. Stay with us.
News
Well, a couple in Brown County is reflecting on a pretty exciting stop at Quick Trip. Their son was born there. Mackenzie Emmett reports.
.41 responding to 111 Bohemia Drive, Quick Trip in Denmark. For a wife that just had a baby there in a Ford Explorer.
It's the 911 call that caught the attention of Quick Trip lovers everywhere.
Well, one of the nurses brought it up to us, like, hey, do you know that you're on this page?
Comments on the Green Bay Crime Reports page include, did they remember to swipe their rewards card? And free Glazers for life. A lot of people also had name suggestions like Katie, Quick, and Karuba.
The comments were gold. I mean, people were funny. It was in a stressful time. It was a nice time to have a good laugh once we knew the baby was healthy.
EMTs arrived on scene in under 10 minutes, transporting mom and baby to Bellin Hospital for care. Little Camden Jeffrey continues growing stronger every day in the NICU.
The couple tells me they never expected to give birth to their son at this Quick Trip in Denmark, but they also say they can't think of a better place. The Wisconsin company has played a major part in their relationship since the very beginning.
We met at Quick Trip in 2008. Her mom worked there. In 2010, we started dating, and yeah, Quick Trip's always been a pretty big part of both of our lives.
We reached out to one Quick Trip communications specialist who tells us this isn't the first baby born at the popular gas station, but adds when it does happen, it's always a joy. There's no word on if the couple will see any perks from the company, but either way, they say it's a story baby Camden will hear for years to come.
He'll definitely know that this is how he came into the world. A little scary, but all is good now.
New customer for life, I guess. Dave?
Is their last name Gas?
Yeah,
oh
cheap prices.
There's so many funny jokes there. I'm glad the baby's doing well. I wish our weather was doing a bit better, but temps in the 30s today.